Hello everyone. I want you basically to imagine one thing. Just imagine that you are working on a big project, okay? And everything slows down or goes wrong just because the data wasn't stored correctly. That's how important data types are in SQL. In the real world, companies rely on the right data types to keep their systems running smoothly. One more thing, guys, that in interviews, data types are very common topics to test your practical knowledge. So I promise that after watching this video, you will never struggle with understanding or using SQL data types again, whether in the projects or interview. So let's start. In the end, I will show you a data set where all type of data types will be included. So stay with me till the end, guys, okay? The very first data type that we will discuss is a string data type. And in a string data type, there we will study about main three types, which are char, varchar, and then text. So let's firstly have a look on varchar. So varchar basically stores variable length string with a maximum length n. Okay, it stores variable length string. Suppose we have a column called name. We have a column whose heading is name, and under this name there are several names written. So all names must have different character length, right? One can be 6 character, another can be of 7 character or 8 character, like this. So if this is the scenario where there are no fixed characters are varying, letters are varying, in that case we will use variable length. So this is the example, like John is a name, Alice is a name, technology is a name. So in the John there are only 4 characters, in Alice 5 characters, in technology it's 10 characters. So we can see number of characters are varying here. In such scenarios, we will use varchar data type. Okay. And how to write it while doing the SQL coding? So firstly, we have to mention the column name, and then we have to mention the data type like this. This is the column name. First name is a column name. And after that, we have to mention its data type, which is varchar. And under the bracket, we have to mention what could be maximum length. Okay, so here we are giving 50 as a maximum length. Means the name length cannot exceed after 50. Okay, so now come to our next data type, which is char. So char basically stores what? Fixed length string. It stores fixed length string. Okay, every value stored in a char column will have a same length. For example, like country code, this is USA. It is there are 3 characters. IND int 3 character. ENG England ka ENG, it is 3 character. Okay, so it's a fixed character. And how we will write it while coding? So we have to firstly mention the name of the column. Here the name of the column is country. Okay, and it can be country code also, because these are termed as country code. So country or country code, and then we have to mention its data type. So here it is char, and in the bracket whatever character length we are going to take. So we are going to take 3 for the whole column. 3 will be for the whole column. We cannot change it anywhere then. Okay, if there are possibility that length can be changed, somewhere it can be 4 characters, then we have to take what? We have to take varchar. Okay, so basic difference between varchar and char is that varchar takes variable length, jahan length vary karne hai, where length is varying, and char takes what? Where length is not varying, it is fixed. Okay, so the next one is text. Text also comes under string data type. A string, what? A string means where there are talk of characters only. Okay, alphabets. So where we use text? We use text whenever we have to write a lengthy lines, like paragraphs, like descriptions. Okay, we have to mention details. At that point, we will term them as text data type. So they basically store large amount of text, no fixed length. Okay. So this is the example. We can write here a large paragraph and then take them as text data type. And this is how we can write it in SQL. So description is what? It is a column name. And text is what? The data type of this column. Okay. Now come to our next data type, which is nnext, nvarchar, nchar. So let me introduce what is this n. We have read till now about text, varchar, and char. What is this n? So n basically denotes or stands for national. Okay, national. Now, why to use ntext or when to use ntext, nvarchar or nchar? Suppose guys, we have a data set where language is different. That data, whatever data set we have, it's not using English language. It is using Hindi, or it is using Spanish or any other language. In that case, we will use ntext, nvarchar, nchar, similar to like we have used char, varchar or text. Okay, because there is one coding system, Unicode, that is called. So we basically provide codes to every character of other languages. Okay. Now, so basically it is designed to handle text in multilingual or non-English languages. I will provide the whole PPT in my GitHub account. I will share the link. There you can download. Now come to our next data type, which is numeric data type. Now in the numeric data type, as the name suggests, that it will talk about the numbers. Okay, so in the numbers, there is int or integer, the very first data type. So when to use int? We can use int when we have to store whole numbers. It can be positive or it can be negative. Okay, like 100, minus 45, 0 or whatever. So this is the example. Suppose we have a column whose name is age. Okay, age kaise hoti hai? Age is like 43 years, 50 years, 25 years, like that. So for that column, we will use int data type. Now come to our next, that is a small int. A small name itself suggests that whenever there is a very small number, then we can use a small int. So it stores a smaller whole number than int. Okay, like 300, minus 150, like rank. If there is a column called rank, okay, then we can use a small int. Wait for some time, I will give you more details about them. Now come to our third one, which is big int. Big itself suggests that wherever there is bigger data, bigger digits, then we will use big int. Okay, so it basically stores large whole numbers like this. Okay, and if you have to take the example from data set, then there can be a column whose name can be population. Then we can take the population column as big int data type. Okay. Now, the question comes that what happens if we will use int instead of small int? Okay, if we will use what? Int instead of small int. Or if we will use int instead of big int. Okay, then what will happen? So, basically, अगर हम int को use कर लेते हैं in place of the small int, then we are wasting 2 bytes for each record. Okay, see, there is one information, let me tell it to you, that a small int के जो size होता है, it is of 2 bytes. Okay, and its range is from 327682, from minus 32786 to plus 32767. Okay. Now there is one called int. Int की जो storage capacity होती है, it is 4 byte. Okay, and its range is from minus 2147 483 6482 214 748 3467. Okay, now the big int की जो storage capacity है, it is 8 byte, and its range varies from 9.2 into 10 to the power 18. okay, minus 2 plus of 9.2 into 10 to the power 18. So ये है आपके range जहां से जहां तक हम big int को use कर सकते हैं. And this is the range for int and this is the range for a small int. So small int basically carries 2 bytes. Int carries 4 byte. Big int carry 8 byte. So suppose if we are using int instead of a small int, then what we are doing? We are wasting 2 bytes, extra 2 bytes, right? And if we are using int instead of big int, then what we are doing? We will not have enough storage. Okay, and that term is called as overflow issue. It will cause error. Now come to our next data type, and that is, you read this big in float. So float basically whenever we have to use decimal numbers. Okay, so it stores floating point numbers, means decimal values like 3.14, 0.001, like this. So this is the example. Suppose there is a column named weight. So we can take them, consider it as float. Okay. Now there is one more data type under numeric, which is decimal. Now decimal values is store karta hai, but we will see the difference. See, it stores fixed point numbers with a specific precision and scale. How? 99.99, 1.3.45. So while writing it, we have to mention here 10, 2, 20, 4, 30, 9. What is this? So this 10 means that maximum number of total digits can be 10 only. Here how many digits? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 digits total. Okay. So maximum 10 digits can be here. And number of digits after decimal. This means the number of digits after decimal can be 2 only. Here how many after decimal? 1, 2. 2 only here also. So this is the way of writing decimal data type. Salary is the name of the column and data type is decimal. In bracket, total number of digits can be 10 and total number of digits after decimal can be 2. Okay. Now the question comes, what is the difference between decimal and float? See guys, float what gives? You can write it like 48.567832. Okay, if you will term it as float, then what will happen? It will give you a round off number like 48.57. Okay, if we are taking them as float. So basically, there are chances of having round off error. So wherever precision is needed, there we will use decimal. Okay, because decimal, main work of decimal is to give the exact values as we have mentioned. If we will write it like 10, 4, then it will give us the value like 57.3892. Okay, after decimal till 4 points, it will give us the exact value. So like the financial calculations, okay, where each digit is very important. In such cases, we can use decimal as a data type. Okay, and the scientific calculations where that precision is supposed not needed, there we can use float as a data type. Okay. Now come to our next data type, and which is date and time data type. See guys, here there are chances that we did mistakes while writing date especially. So in the SQL, we have to mention the date in year, month, day format only. Okay, year, month and day format. How? It's like, tell me, this is written correctly or not? So it is not correctly written. Okay, we have to write it like 2024 first, then month and then the date. This is the absolute correct format for writing date in SQL. Okay. Now, let's have an example. So, suppose there is a column named birth date. Okay. Birth date is a column, so that we can consider as date data type. Now, come to our next data type, which is time. So, time data type stores the values in hours, minutes and seconds format like this. Okay. So suppose there is a column name called event time where event time is mentioned. That column we can take as time data type. Now it is date time or timestamp. They both are almost same. So they stores date and time both. Okay, like here date and then time. So date cannot be in this format again. It is wrongly written. Okay, it is wrongly written. It has to be 2024-12-14 and then the time. So suppose the column that's name is created at some data है जिसको हमें mention करना है created at. Okay, so उसके date and time mention है. One by one हर row में उसके date and time mention है. So that column we will take as date time data type. Okay. Now the Boolean data type. Boolean data type basically stores the Boolean values true or false. So these are the example. If it is written true or false, or see, there can be a column whose heading is active. Suppose usernames are there and their descriptions are there, and there is a column called is active. So they can be true or false. Okay, yes or no. In such cases, we will use Boolean data type. Now, the fifth one is binary data type. This one is also very interesting, guys, and very important. So please pay attention. Binary data type, the very first, there is a called blob. Very important interview questions also. So it basically stores the large objects like images or files. Okay. What is a binary files? It represents image or audio. So suppose there is one column where profile pictures are also mentioned of each user. Okay, then that whole column will be taken as blob data type. Okay. Now, what is var binary? So var binary stores the variable length binary data and a binary string or data representing a file. Okay. Suppose there is a column called file data. There we will take them as var binary data type. Okay, guys. Now, let me explain once again about the blob and var binary. So, var binary, it stores the binary data in a variable length. Let me give you the example of its use case. Suppose there is a small image or document, okay, or other binary object that doesn't require very large storage. In such case, we will take the data type as var binary. And if the storage needed a large capacity, okay, if the storage needed large capacity, then we will use blob. How? For example, like large images, audio, video, okay, or any large file. In such cases, large size documents, in such cases, we will use blob. Okay, I hope it's clear till here. So var binary is for small size documents and blob is for large size documents. Okay. Now, there are some special categories called enum. Enum are basically predefined list of values. Suppose we have give a list that which is created by us, like user is active, inactive, or it's pending, or the status of something is active, inactive, or pending. Okay. So see, this is the column name called status. And under the status, there are 3 values only, active, inactive, or pending. And these values are given by us. Then we can consider them as enum data type. Okay. And the last one is UUID. UUID basically stores universally unique identifiers. Okay. Like this is a unique identifier. Like user ID. User ID can be taken as UUID. Now guys, let's have a look on the data set where I have used all data types almost. So just a second. Here it is. Here you can see the first column and its name is what? Its name is ID. Okay, in ID there are numbers like 1, 2, 3. So can you tell me what type of data type it is? Yes, we can take them as a small int because there are only small numbers we are taking. Then come to the name. Now what type of data type it is? Yes, it is VARCHAR and we can give the limit as 50 here. Now the country code is what? It is char data type because we will use here only 2 characters. Okay. Now the description part. So what does this description carries? Which data type it carries? So it carries text data type. Exactly. Now come to the age data type. Now this is what? This is int. Okay. Or we can take as a small int also. Now come to the height. Height is written as 5.9, 5.6, 5.7. Now can anyone tell what type of data type it is? So it is float. Okay. Here we can take decimal also, because while giving the decimal we can simply write decimal bracket 2 comma 3 comma 2. Okay, so for such case the height that we will get will be suppose 5.98. this is the exact height that we can get, right? Now come to the next column, which is birth date. So birth date will come under which data type? Date data type. So is this date written correctly? No, it is not written correctly. We have to format the cell. And see, while doing the formatting, we have to select here. What I do, I basically select a Canadian time. So in Canadian time, we can see that YYY, MM, DD mention. So let's select it, and then we can see that the data type is converted into our required data type, which is YYY, MM and DD. Okay, now come to our next column, which is last login. So it is specifying the time. Okay, so it comes under time data type. Now come to the created at. So what created at carries? It carries time as well as time. So पहले तो इस time को हमें YYY MM DD में convert करना होगा into that format, and then we can take it as time stamp or date time. Okay. See, now the next one, it is what? It is active, and it is as true or false. We have to take it as Boolean data type. Now there is a one column, profile picture. Here we have to paste the pictures. I just left them empty, but in real scenario there will be a picture which will identify you. So write it in the comment section that what type of data type it can be. Okay, what type of data type. I will wait for your answers, guys, so please comment below. Now come to the next one, which is a status, active, inactive. So can you tell what kind of data type it is? Yeah, they are the predefined values. We have given these values, so they will come under enum. Okay, now the last one, user ID. It carries the universally unique identity. Okay, it is a universally unique identity, so its data type will be UUID. This is it for this video, guys. In the next video I will come with one project as well as one theory concept. Okay, so I will wait for your answers for this profile picture data type. See you guys, take care and keep practicing. Any question, any doubt, you guys can freely ask it to me in the comment section. Take care, bye bye.